Good morning, everybody. It is day 21 of 84. This morning I weighed in at 227.2. So I am just above 226 pounds. Last week I was 228.6. So I lost, from last Sunday to this Sunday, I lost, 1.4 pounds. And that's including having Thanksgiving food on Thanksgiving. So even after that, my weight still dropped almost a pound and a half. So it is still going down at quite a bit every single week. Today is my last day of animal cuts, and then I'm gonna have to take off a week from it. I won't take it for a whole week, and then I'll get back on it and I'll see how that goes. So last day to take these guys, today and tonight. I'm just hoping it doesn't make me crash and be like all freaking day. Also, we had a pretty good thunderstorm come in last night, man. It was coming down wicked hard, but we didn't lose the power, so that's good. Hopefully the rain pushed out and I could go do my walk without being rained on. So I'm gonna take my pills, I'm gonna start my rice, and then I'm gonna get ready to go walk. Turns out that thunderstorm wasn't just a thunderstorm, it was a cold front. It is really windy and still a little rainy off and on, but it is cold this morning. It is 57, and I know other places it's like 57 is not cold. I know it's not cold enough for me to be bundled up in a jacket, but it is cold right now for me to be in my casual wear for first thing in the morning, and it's causing my chicken to take forever to cook. We used the pit to cook the ham this year. Well, we used the propane. I smoked the turkey in the smoker, and then we were using the oven for sides, so we used the propane pit for the ham. And I thought I ran out of propane, but I didn't. It's so cold that even on high heat, all the burners, it's just taking a lot longer to cook the chicken because of how cold it is outside. It really dramatically increases the cook time. That's the downside of having a non-insulated pit, is the weather affects how fast your food cooks and how long it takes and everything. It's like, oh, well, it shouldn't take that much longer because it's still over the direct heat. Yeah, but the top side, it's not. You have cold coming in. It takes longer for it to heat up, takes longer for the pit to get stable, just in general, Even smoking meat, it takes longer to cook, especially if you have a thin-walled pit, like a 16th of an inch. Cold days, good luck keeping your temperature steady, but 3/16, 5/16 gauge, well, not gauge, but 5/16 still, or a quarter inch still. 3/16 is good, but once you get to that quarter inch, 5/16, once you get that metal hot, that heat will just stay. It doesn't matter how the wind blows; it's a lot more stable. But this thin sheet metal, it causes a lot of fluctuation in the heat when the wind blows through or whatever. So it just takes a lot longer, which takes a lot more propane. But it is what it is. And you see the steam on my coffee. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. That's how cold it is out here. I don't ever see steam on my coffee. It's always too warm here to see steam on my coffee, but we got it this morning. Let's see. All right, it's starting to look a little bit more cooked. My rice just finished too, so I'm gonna finish cooking this chicken. I got one more batch to go, all 6 days worth of protein cooked. I'm gonna drink my coffee, eat my rice, and then I'm going to decide if I want to go for a walk through the neighborhood or if I'm going to walk on the treadmill. I'm not sure what I'm going to do today. I'd rather walk on the pavement, but if it's wet and super windy like it is today and raining, that's why we got the treadmill. Well, that's fortunately why I found a treadmill, which we were going to buy a treadmill, so I'm thankful that we found it because we didn't have to buy it. And it worked out too, because I was going to probably buy a treadmill on Black Friday, but instead, I was able to buy a toolbox and a vice bench for the toolbox instead of spending it on a treadmill. So I got something I needed and something I wanted with only having to buy something I needed, and I got what I wanted. So it all worked out perfectly. And then I found another one online that people were giving it away, and we might go pick it up today. I might have to get a pickup truck because I don't think it'll fit my Jeep. So we might go pick up a second one so I can have two in my laundry room so me and my wife can walk together, which would be super freaking awesome, And I'm hoping I hit the pavement, man. But if it keeps raining like it does, because it's not raining a lot, it hits for maybe like a minute, then it stops, then it hits for a minute, then it stops, and even still, that's more that's more cold rain than I'd rather deal with. That's a lot more than I'd rather deal with. I'd rather deal with none, especially on a windy day. Windy days are bad enough as it is when the temperature's down, let alone it being raining. If it was a warm rain, I don't care if it rained the whole time I was out there walking. There's nothing on me that's going to get messed up. What, my Crocs, my athletic shorts? Ooh, big deal. My phone's waterproof. Don't have to worry about that. I can still live stream whenever I'm walking because it's waterproof. But cold? Not for me. When I was younger, I tried to be brave and be like, I love the cold. It doesn't bother me. But it does. It does bother me. And I'm not going to pretend to be some tough guy that it doesn't. I hate extremely hot weather. I hate extremely cold weather. I like comfortable weather. I hate high humidity days. I just hate being uncomfortable. I mean, I deal with it. It's just life. You have to deal with it. You can't get away from it. But I'd rather be comfortable than comfortable. Training in incredibly frigid weather doesn't make you more of a man. Training in incredibly hot environments doesn't make you more of a man. Like it doesn't harden you up either. People want to act like, oh, it hardens you up. The only time that I think is necessary is if you're training for a event in an environment. So like if you're going to be having a competition up north, like a strongman competition or CrossFit, and it's going to be in the winter and it's incredibly cold where you're going, and you're going to be outside and you live in a warm climate, yeah, you need to train for the cold. If you're going to be going out to the desert or somewhere where the heat is incredibly intense, and you live somewhere where it's nice and cold, yeah, you're going to have to train for the weather because that's going to affect you. But bodybuilding, going into the gym and picking up some dumbbells for a couple of sets, for a couple of reps to get a pump, I don't need to train for the elements. Like, it's like, oh, you gotta get hard, be hard to get hard. You need to train insane, like an animal. Animals have to be in the cold. Animals have to be in the cold, and animals have to survive in incredibly rough, hard environments. Therefore, if you want to be tough, you gotta you gotta harden your skin like a shell on a turtle. Like, for what? For what? Like, for who? Like, what? Who does that help? Anyone? Like I said, if you work, okay, I'll say this: if you work construction in the South and you're blue collar and you are pouring concrete and doing concrete work or welding or working outside in the sun for 12 hours a day all day long, and you're swinging hammers and turning wrenches and pouring concrete and pushing metal around, I don't think you need to train in the environments for the environments, because you are the environment, right? You're training in it, like you're in it, you're living it, like you are conditioning 12 hours a day in the heat or in the cold. So why do you need to train in the heat or in the cold? Be comfortable. Be comfortable. Because I used to work construction. I live in Texas. I worked in the refineries. I would have to wear my underclothes, my socks, my boots, and then my FRCs over that. And then when I actually had to do my job, I had to wear a Tyvek over that, which does not breathe any airflow. And then I had to have a hood sock that goes over that, a full face respirator, and then my gloves in direct sunlight using like this 50, 60-pound rivet buster breaking up concrete. And then whenever I wasn't doing that, I was on a shovel shoveling 20 hits of sand with a 96-pound bag of concrete onto a mixer, splitting it open for 12 hours a day by myself all day until lunch. 6 hours, 30-minute break, 6 hours. All day in the sun. So it's like, what are you conditioning for? If you have a job like that, you're already conditioned to the heat, so there's no reason to get out there. And if you're used to it, right, then it doesn't bother you, and you can get out there and do it. Like, oh no, I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me. But if you're not used to it, like me, I'm pampered now. I work in the air condition. I don't have to work in the heat. I do have a blue collar job, but it's not working. I work in a warehouse, but my warehouse is climate control. So I am no longer used to the elements. I don't have to deal with humidity. I don't have to deal with extreme colds or heats anymore. So whenever I do get pulled out of my room, whenever we have a welding job or a fabricating job and I have to go out and weld and I have to go out and fabricate, which isn't too often I have to do that, maybe once a year, twice a year, it always seems like they pick the end of July, beginning of August, when they're like, hey, we need you out here in the sun welding and fabricating in the heat without being conditioned at all, and just go straight into it. And for the first 2 weeks, I am like dying out there, sweating, just miserable, just suffering, just brutally freaking like sweating, just feeling like I'm dehydrated, can't drink enough water, pounding like 3 gallons of water a day, sweating it all out, like sweat rings all through my shirts from just sweating nonstop, different layers of where the sweat would stop and start back up. That's intense, man. That's really intense. But you get used to it and you get conditioned to it, and now you're okay in your element. Just like now, I'm not cold no more. I feel comfortable. When I first came out here, I was freezing, but now I'm like, all right, nah, I'm good now. I'm comfortable. And like I said, 57's not cold by no stretch of the imagination to the person that lives up north. But when your winters consist of like 75 to 85 degrees for the majority of the winter, then you get a day in the 40s or 50s. It's cold, man. It is cold. It is cold to you. You're just not used to it. It's cold. But I also took those animal cuts, and they raise your body temperature. It has a something to help your thyroid, and thyroid is responsible for your body temperature regulation. So it increases your temperature, makes you sweat a lot. And that's another lot of people talk about. That diuretic makes me sweat. No, the diuretic's not making you sweat. Diuretic's making you urinate. It's the thyroid boost that's causing your temperature to go up that makes you sweat. So being out here, those pills are kicking in. That's probably why I'm actually more comfortable, because I'm getting acclimated to it because of pills and stuff. But I'm gonna finish cooking this, and then I'm gonna decide on if I want to go for a walk. If the rain stops, if it stops drizzling and raining, I'm gonna go on the pavement. Scratch everything I said earlier about getting used to the cold. I think what it was the pit finally warmed up, and it was letting off a lot of heat, so it felt nice. Because I have my sweater and my shirt on, and I'm walking around, and the wind's blowing, and it is freaking cold. It is so freaking cold right now. Now, those pills do have a thyroid effect, because I can feel my body temperature rise after about 30 minutes to an hour of taking them. And it does increase my precipitation. So I do start sweating easier, and I do sweat more when I take them. So that is true, it does. And a lot of people say they sweat like crazy when they're on it. So that's true, but not enough to cut through the cold. We got a puppy right here. What's going on, buddy? You look so miserable. Poor, look. Oh man. He put his head down and he cowered. When I looked over at him, like he's abused. And he's just sitting in the field. I wonder if he got dumped, man, because I've never seen him before. He has no collar. I'd be willing to bet he got dumped here. We have animals that get dumped here. God, man, dude, that makes me so mad. I'm almost 100% that dog was abused, and people beat the crap out of him and didn't want him. So they brought him here and dumped him, because we don't have any animal control out here. That really makes me mad. That poor baby's probably freezing cold and hungry and wet, and he's just sitting there trying to figure out what just happened. And like I said, I just looked at him, and he just like, oh God, another person that's gonna hurt me. Man, I'm not a crazy huge animal lover, but I mean, that's just sad to me. You could have took him to a shelter, could have put him online and rehomed him. I guarantee you somebody's looking for a dog for their kids for Christmas, and someone would have picked him up. Because I've never seen that one here before, and I walk every single day. I know all the dogs that are loose and out and about, and I pretty much know what houses have what dogs, and that's not an inside dog. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So as far as it goes for the thermodynamic effect of raising your body temperature, it does do that. People claim it does increase their sweating throughout the day, even just sitting in an office chair. And I've experienced that myself too, but it's not enough to cut through the cold. It's still very cold, very cold. But it's not raining, so I am out here walking the pavement because I much prefer hitting the pavement over the treadmill. This evening, on the other hand, hopefully it warms up as the day goes on, but it might just stay cold. And I'm going to see how I feel tonight and decide if I want to hit the treadmill or the pavement again. Because I like to be comfortable, but at the same time, I hate steady state cardio on a machine. That's the worst. It's the worst. It teaches you to be bored, though. Being okay with being bored. How about that for acclimation? You know, people putting their phones down in silence and staring at the wall for an hour and do nothing. Talking about being acclimated to something. I think we're so used to being entertained 24/7. From the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, we forget what it feels like to be bored or how to handle boredom. So when it does occur, we don't know how to respond to it. And then we act like pampered brats. This is a bit of a mistake on our behalf. Normally we do our shopping on Friday night. But of course Friday was Black Friday and the stores are absolutely ridiculous, and there was no way I was waiting in those lines to buy groceries. So then we were going to do it Saturday, but Saturday we were busy with a bunch of other things as well too. Otherwise going around looking at stuff to buy for us. So buying a toolbox, putting all the tools in the toolbox, all the everythings that go along with what we did for that day. So today we're like, we'll go on Sunday. And then we made the great mistake because it was just like, you know what? It's raining, the weather's nasty. Let's just wait a little while. Let's have a slow start to the day after I did my cardio. So we're just kind of hanging out for a little bit. And then we decided to go to one store, and that store has certain things that the other store doesn't have, of course. But they were way too busy. I'm not gonna lie. I got probably a little bit too angry at a bunch of people that were just being completely rude and not paying attention. And I kind of lost my cool. So we are now at Walmart, and Walmart has a lot less people and it's a lot better environment. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad for a Sunday. And we just got to get what we need for the week. Trying to get, these are all way back here. Apparently apple cinnamon is the one to buy for oatmeal. So anyway, so we're now getting the rest of the groceries for the week, trying to get back in the rhythm of the groove of going back to work. But like I said, this weekend with Thanksgiving and Good Friday, then with all the shopping on Saturday, it kind of just really threw off our routine. But we're trying to get back on track now, getting what we need. Hopefully the store doesn't pick up. It looks like everyone's either pretty much close to being done or has already gone shopping, because there's not a whole lot of people here. And I absolutely hate going to the stores on Sundays. I like going Friday nights when everyone is, not thinking about grocery shopping. When there's maybe like 6 people in the whole entire store, you could get what you need and get out without any frustration. That's why I loved whenever Walmarts were 24 hours, because we'd come at midnight, 1 in the mornings when nobody was even here except for overnight stocking. Like the employees and maybe one other person in the store, like a customer. That was the best, but can't do that no more. So the next best thing is going around 9 p.m. on Friday nights. And that's the closest we could get to what we used to do whenever we would do late night shopping. Because I'm pretty sure everyone can understand the frustration of shopping with a Sunday crowd at a grocery store. It's just a nightmare and I hate it. I don't know what kind of sick individual would love that. I think the reason why most people hate grocery shopping is because they all go on Sundays. I hate grocery shopping. I hate going to the store. You can go to the store at other hours of the day besides Sunday at 11 o'clock, like we do at Friday at 9 p.m. where there's absolutely nobody there. It's the best. I enjoy it. It's actually fun going to the store with my wife and getting just to look at stuff, take her time, look at the back of the nutrition labels and whatever else. It's just enjoyable, and it's not a nightmare of an event. Back from the grocery store, I've already eaten two meals today. And I do 8 ounces of rice, which is 140 carbohydrates. If you measure it dry, and uncooked, 8 ounces is 4 servings. So that's 140 carbohydrates. So that's 280. And then with the juice that I drink, that puts me right up to 400. And I don't think I want to do rice for my next meal. I'm probably going to do grilled cheese sandwiches. And you're like, wait, hold on, grilled cheese sandwiches. Hear me out. Sourdough's fermented bread is probably one of the best breads you can eat, in my personal opinion. The bread that I buy personally, if I do 4 slices of it, it's going to be 88 carbohydrates. And then I buy the Velveeta cheese. So there's only 2 grams of fat per slice, 3 grams of carbs. So that's 12 carbohydrates for 4 slices because the bread requires 2 slices to cover all of it. So that's an extra 12 plus the 88, that's 100 carbohydrates. So that takes me from 400 up to 500. And then if I drink another 100 carbohydrates with the juice, that puts me at 600. Trying to get to 1,000. So that's a fun way to get to 200 higher than where I am right now. And I think that might be the only meal I do with the sourdough. And then I think my next meal will go back to rice. And then from there, that will put me up another roughly 200. That'll put me to 800. And then my next meal would be the cheat meal. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do grilled cheese right now. And then another rice and juice. That's 800. And then dinner tonight is going to be Chinese food plus a milkshake. And that's going to put me up to my 1,000 carbohydrates for the day. And I might have my wife is going to make like a blueberry cobbler. So I might go a little over on the carbohydrates today, which is fine because I've been losing so much weight so fast every single week. I can afford a little bit of extra carbohydrates. That's not going to hurt me. No, you don't have to put them on those. There's too much fat on those little onions. I just want the carbs today. Thank you. She's actually cooking them for me right now. She's so awesome. Yeah, so anyways, like I said, I might go a little above because the Chinese food, I'm not going to measure out, but we're going to do fried rice. We're going to do dumplings. We're going to do what chicken again? Orange chicken and spicy chicken, and then dumplings. And then I'll have a milkshake with that. Oh, I also have a cream soda, which has 77 carbohydrates in the cream soda. You know what? Yeah, you're right. I'm going to do my cream soda with my grilled cheese sandwiches because that's 77 carbohydrates plus 100. So that'd be 177. Not quite 200. Doesn't quite put me at 600, but it's okay because tonight, if I'm going to be doing more carbohydrates on my cheat meal, it'll be okay to get a little bit less on this meal. It's not going to hurt nothing. That's what I'm going to do. And then I got to train my calves today, and I have one more walk to go on. I'm going to have a pretty brutal calf day. I'm going to beat the snot out of them today. I am going to beat the crap out of them. I'm feeling good. Carbohydrates are getting me. Feeling great. And I'm looking forward to these grilled cheese sandwiches because I feel like grilled cheese can also make you really strong. Along with Doritos. Doritos make you strong too. If you're looking to get strong, yeah, Doritos. That's the way to go. I'm excited. And there it is. 2 sourdough grilled cheese sandwiches with 2 pieces of Velveeta cheese on each one. The Velveeta cheese is only 40 calories per slice. 2 grams of fat, 3 carbohydrates. I don't know what the protein is, but all the same. I think sourdough is probably one of the best ways to go. And then this is that, I can't believe it's not butter spray. I think for every like 5 sprays, there's like 2 calories. So I'm not really going to stress the calorie content of that. And then I got my other 77 carbohydrates right here. So between the 2 sandwiches and that's 177. Now you might be wondering who is eating those 2 big sandwiches on the side there with the Hawaiian rolls. Well, that is that pretty lady right there. She's the one who made this delicious meal for us. And she, I think, is going a little bit crazy with the amount of food she's eating. I thought I was eating a lot until I saw hers. I mean, look at that. That is ridiculous. I mean, it's like, where do you put it? Like where do you put it? How do you get it all down? Like, where does it all go?
Find out.
Okay, so this should get me to my workout. It's 1 o'clock now. My eating schedule's all over the place on Sunday. I just eat when I'm hungry because I just try to get all the carbs in. So I'm going to work out at 4 o'clock, my regular time. So, well, I might be able to get one more meal in. I'll probably get another one in at 3 o'clock. I'll probably eat one more meal at 3 o'clock. And then that will put me up to my calorie needs up to my cheat meal. So that way I can eat at 3 and then I can work out at 4, do my cardio at 5. And then after my cardio, I could do my cheat meal around 6:30. And that gives me time to digest it before I go to sleep. So that way I'm not miserable all night long bloated because it is going to bloat me. But I do enjoy having a good cheat meal. And that should get me on my timing just right. Because I don't like eating super late in the evenings when I have a cheat meal either. I don't like waiting till 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night to eat. I try to eat my meals earlier, bigger, and more frequently on my high carb day so I could get to my cheat meal a lot quicker. It just sits with me better. So, all right, I'm gonna start getting these things down. They're cool enough to eat now. They cool down enough. She took the bite test to make sure. So,
I'll pick mine first. So.
okay, all right, I'm excited. You know, you have to give credit where credit's due. I give it to my wife because I was telling her about how I miss nice, dark, thick, black coffee. Whenever I had it from Starbucks the other day, how delicious it was. And it's just like the one that I'm drinking is just not the same because I don't think it's the decaf thing. I think it's the brand. And she was like, well, why don't you just put instant coffee in your coffee, the decaf one, to thicken it up to get it to where you like it. I love that woman. I love her so much. When she's right, she's right. Because now my coffee is like drinking actual good coffee now. So it's just like, all right, I got to bring some to work now so I can have it at work and at home. That way I don't miss out on the delicious, bold flavor of the instant decaf Keurig coffee. Ooh, mixing up brands. But it's worth it. I'm going to drink this and then I'll be in the gym. That coffee hit the spot, man. That changed everything. Like the donut shop decaf, it's not bad. It's just watery. It's just not thick like I like it. I like that very heavy, rich flavor. And just adding a little bit of decaf instant to it. Ah, chef's kiss. Perfect. Absolutely beautiful. Now, if I could just get the energy from it along with it. But I take the animal cuts. But this is the last day that I just literally took my last pack of animal cuts for the next week. So I'm going to be going back to regular coffee to get my energy, which the funny thing is these caffeine pills have 200 milligrams of caffeine and a cup of coffee only has like 90. So it's going to be like cut in half, which is fine. It should still give me what I need, just not the over excessive amount of energy, which would give my body a break from the high amount of caffeine. So when I start taking them, it should have a very good effect. Okay, let's get this calves going. I'm not sure what I'm doing with this. I'm going to see how I feel on this set right now and then decide if I want to drop our wrist pause. I'm going to let the set dictate what I do with this. I'm going to do a rest pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh. I mean, I kind of felt that one on my foot a little bit. That kind of hurt my foot some. Let's drop some weight on this. I make sure I don't hurt my foot, you know, because my right foot, I hurt it about 2 years ago real bad. And when I say real bad, I mean I could barely even walk. The outside bone on my foot, right here on my foot, it felt like it was broken and I could barely even put any pressure on it. I was limping. It took a long time for that to heal up. I don't know what I did to it. Never went to the doctor. I know it's like, why didn't you go to the doctor? I don't know how much they could have done for it. If it was a hairline fracture or if it was just like a bone spur or something else. Like it eventually healed up. Took about, I don't know, 5-6 months to fully heal up and it stopped bothering me. But I just want to make sure that I don't hurt it again, you know, previous injury. But the thing is, it's like I don't even know what I did to hurt it. It just popped one day. I was standing up out of a chair and it popped. And I was like, oh man, that felt weird. And that was it. And then like the next day, I couldn't put any pressure on it. It didn't bother me the rest of the day. But the next day, whoo, man, it was brutal. Don't want my calves to fall behind, I don't want them to get small either. So this is definitely one of those things where I got to train them just like I do everything else. Because the last thing I want is to have little bitty calves coming out the bottom of my shorts and looking weird. And I hate that, like, I don't look big in my clothes, man. I don't feel like I look like anything when I'm wearing my clothes, and I hate that so much. I tell my wife, like, every single time I get below like 240, 250, I feel like I look like nothing in a t-shirt. And I was 227.2 this morning, and I just feel like I look like nothing in a t-shirt. Felt pretty good. Felt pretty good. I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the night goes. When I first started doing calf raises on these, I had the seat all the way back, and it felt awkward. I didn't like it. And then I just didn't do them on these for a long time. And then it dawned on me, man, you have 3 adjustments on the seat. So I set it to the middle one, and it felt good. I set it to the upright one, and it felt awful. Excuse me. So that little inch and a half movement from laid back to upright, it's like the perfect position for me to do calves on these. Like this position right here versus being up a little bit more like this. It's weird. But it works. It works perfectly. So I like it. And I actually really look forward to training my calves on these. Also, too, when I train my calves, I like to approach it like my hamstrings. I like to do a full bent leg, which is the seated calf raises, a partially bent knee, which is the leg press, and then a standing calf raises, which is stiff-legged, just like doing a straight-legged, a partially bent knee, and a leg curl to hit all 3 positions of the hamstring and all 3 planes of motion. I'm not sure if I'm drop setting or rest pausing on these. Again, I'm just going to go and see how I feel as I do them. Okay, north of 10, I think that deserves a rest pause. I'm gonna go ahead and do rest pause on these. I'm not gonna drop set them. I'm just gonna do straight rest pause on them. I don't think you have to do rest pause on everything. I don't think you have to do drop sets on everything. I think some things you could just straight up do a lot of reps on. But I just like doing rest pause. I like taking that last effort on that last weight as far as I can go. Okay, one more. One more. I think that's going to be it for this. Okay. We talked about getting a standing calf raise machine, like the pin loaded ones. But then I was like, well, I could build one with its plate loaded instead of that's pin loaded. And it'd be a lot cheaper. And then we started talking about it. It's like, well, why don't we just get a Smith machine? Because honestly, you could do that with a Smith machine. It's basically a track. So it's a standing calf raise machine. Because whenever I was in the gym, the pin stack would only go to like 250 and it wasn't heavy enough on the calf raise machine. So I would do it on the Smith machine. So we talked about, well, let's get a Smith machine. So I don't know when that's going to happen though. We've been talking about that for a long time. Shrugs, upright rows, calf raises, front squats, stuff like that is great on the Smith machine, but it has so many functions and purposes because you don't have to worry about the balancing. It allows you to pull differently too, like even on a barbell row, because instead of having to balance yourself, you can literally pull back and then pull up. I don't know, it's not that exaggerated. I'm being over exaggerated there, but being bent over like this, you can actually lean back or forward and get a different position and hit a totally different part of your back. But until then, I improvised. I normally hold the dumbbells when I do standing calf raises, but I decided, you know what? I'm going to do my safety squat bar because I got handles and I can stand upright. And if I need balancing, I can just hold onto the rack, and I can just hold onto the rack while these sit on my shoulders. I don't know what I'm going to do on this. I might just do one set, or I might just do drop sets. If anything, I'll probably end up doing drop sets on this. Been a long time since I've put 275 on my back, man. I forgot how much pressure that is on your back. Goes to show me how much of how unfamiliar I have gotten to this load. Okay, that felt pretty good. I think I got too many reps to do a drop set. If I drop 50 pounds on this, that's a significant amount of weight drop, and getting north of 10, around 15 to 17, I don't remember what I got, to be honest. I think that's going to be too big of a weight drop and get too many reps. So looks like I'm rest pausing this. And I've said it before, As far as it goes for having an elevated toe and having your heel drop and then lift up and having your heel drop, I don't think that's that important for calf development, to be completely honest. I think calves are one of those muscles that just respond to heavy load. The heavier you go, the more they have to adapt. Because I've said it before, I don't think I've ever seen like a 350, 400-pound man have stick legs. I've never seen a large man have skinny little tiny twig legs. And people blame it on genetics. It's genetics, it's genetics, it's genetics, it's genetics. But it's like, yeah, but I've never seen a fat guy with little legs, little calves. And when they start losing weight, man, their calves just stick around. And it's like years of punishing them with like 400 pounds. So doing all this stretch, reflex, contraction, hold, isometric, positive, negative stuff, I don't think it's that important for the calves. I think it's just about getting under a load and making it happen. I actually think if you got a weighted vest or like a fat suit that evenly distributed the weight for spinal reasons, and you can carry an extra 200 pounds a day on your frame all day long, and you were on your feet all day long, I think that would be like the best calf workout. I don't know. I don't think training your calves light, there's much benefit to that. I really don't think there's a huge benefit to it for everybody. There's the exceptions. Like some guys just don't have to train them. Other guys have to put everything they have into them. But I think it just comes down to load and effort. Calves are just workhorses. I mean, like, if they weren't, explain to me why you could have really, really big calves. I'm sorry, quads. You could have massive quads, hamstrings, and glutes and barely be able to lift 400 pounds for 5. But then you can have little bitty calves and you can like, you can calf raise insert like an absurd amount of weight. Like how much do you do calf raises with? Oh, 375 or 450. And you have these little bitty stick legs for calves. They're just workhorses, man. I'm not saying like doing sets of 3 to 5 is going to build the calves up. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think load with volume is what's going to build the calves up. Not doing slow isometric, concentric, stretch, hold, contraction. I don't think that's what's going to be the difference. I think going as heavy as you possibly can for like 12 to 15 and then repeating that same load and trying to get the same reps for multiple sets with a maximal amount of load for 12 to 15 reps is going to be what gives you the greatest response for your calves. Not doing, a set of 125 because you can squeeze your calf for 3 seconds longer or slowly lower it down. Just calves today, so I'm not going to take the shirt off or anything. I'll roll these up some. All right, hit it with one of these. Back here, there's a flex. Back here, there's a flex. Coming here, maybe flex. That's more hamstring right there. I can't really flex my calves like that. But if I bring straight back, then I can flex my calves, but it changes the way the hamstrings look. And I don't know what's more impressive, the hamstrings being flexed out or the calves being flexed out. So doing like a pose like this, you know, or coming back and flexing this straight back, getting the calf lit up, then getting the hamstrings lit up, and then doing a lat spread versus doing this here. I think this looks better because it's more symmetrical, elbows out, knees out, but maybe doing calf back or heel back, flex calf, and then hamstrings, and then double bicep. Maybe that's the better look. I don't know. I don't even know how the camera's picking up on it right now. I don't even know how good they look. I haven't even looked at them in the pump. Let me see. Oh yeah, I guess they're pretty pumped up. At least in this mirror, they're looking pretty pumped up. Well, this shadowing, they look pretty good. I don't know how they look in this one. I guess. Well, oh, okay, yeah. On the mirror, they're looking pretty sharp. Pretty sharp in the mirror. All right, we'll get my cardio in. But I guess, honestly, if you train your calves at all, that's better than what 90% of the population does. I think most people just don't train them, and they come up with excuses of why they're not big. And ultimately, I think it's bullshit. They just don't train them. They put them at the end of a workout, and then they haphazardly train them. They don't put effort into them. They don't put energy into them, especially if you put them at the end of a leg day. They're going to be so tired that you're not going to put effort into them. And that's if people even train their legs, for that matter. And if they don't train their legs, it's like, all right, well, you're losing 50% of your body. And at the same time, though, too, it's like, you know, your traps make your neck look thick, which makes you look big. Your forearms hang out of your shirt, and that's what everybody sees. So it makes your arms look big, even if your biceps are not. And then your calves make your legs look big if you wear shorts. So calves, forearms, and traps are like the three things that, if you want to look big in clothes, will make you look big, because those are the parts that hang out. So even still, if you don't train your quads and your hamstrings, why wouldn't you at least train your calves? So when you're walking around in shorts, you at least look like you train your legs. But me, I have my calves on their own specific designated day, Sundays. I train my calves by themselves on Sunday with the same amount of effort, the same amount of energy, and the same amount of intensity that I do everything else, because I want my calves to grow and be even with everything else. I don't want nothing left behind. I know some body parts respond and grow better than others, and I know some take more effort and more energy, and they're more difficult and stubborn. It's just the way genetics are. Sometimes they just don't lean in your favor, but you can do everything you can in your power to make sure that it's not a genetic hiccup and it's just a lack of effort. So is it a lack of effort, or is it a genetic hiccup? I don't want to have a weak body part because of the genetic hiccup. That's why I started training my abs. I was like, you know what? My abs suck. I don't even have abs. I got a layer of fat over my abs. And even if I get my abs, are they even going to look impressive? Like, I've already said it. I like abs that look like bricks. Like, I don't like those skinny little pencil abs, or it looks like you have pencils for abs, thin little bitty bubbles. I think it looks freaking awesome when a guy has a set of bricks for abs. Like someone took a brick and put them on their stomach like a turtle shell. That to me represents a big, strong, powerful stomach. That's what I want. So now I train my abs on Saturdays by themselves, as hard and as intense as I do everything else. Because if I put them at the end of any type of day, I'm going to be too tired to hit them aggressively. If I put my calves at the end of any workout, I'm going to be too tired to hit them aggressively. And I don't want to leave anything out. I don't want any weak spots. And this isn't just for competing in bodybuilding. It's just in general. I just don't want weak spots. I just don't know why you would want to have a car with 1,000 horsepower, but a rear end with a 27 spline axle. Like, why do you want a 27 spline axle on your rear end? You're going to snap it with that much horsepower. Beef up the rear end. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end it now. Everyone have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.